Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we are tearing into a story that really just transcended sports and became a cultural flashpoint almost overnight, it feels like.
It really does.
We're not just looking at a great athlete here. We're trying to dissect the phenomenon of Caitlin Clark. I mean, a player who redefined not just how women's basketball is played, but how it's consumed by, well, everyone.
And it's absolutely essential to start there. The conversation around Clark, it's no longer just about her individual skill, which is frankly unquestioned.
Right.
It's about this massive societal and economic shift she instigated. So the core question we have to address is, what is the true scale of the Caitlin Clark effect, and why did it happen now?
Let's establish that scale immediately with the numbers. I mean, we all remember how immense the atmosphere was for the 2024 NCAA Women's Championship game. But if you look at the outcome, 18.9 million viewers.
Just a staggering number.
To put that in perspective, that wasn't just the most viewed women's game. It was the most viewed basketball game, men's or women's, since 2019. That is colossal.
And that statistic, it really marks a genuine historical pivot point. It was the very first women's NCAA tournament final in history to actually surpass the viewership of the men's final.
That's the part that's just mind-blowing.
It is. It completely breaks an established sports broadcasting paradigm that has existed for decades. The audience showed unequivocally that there was a massive appetite that was just previously being underserved.
And that shift didn't stop once she turned pro. Not at all. It rippled straight into the WNBA, into the digital world. You shared some incredible metrics about the league's own online engagement.
Oh, the digital footprint is maybe the most telling indicator of her unique appeal, especially to a younger, a digitally native audience.
Right.
If you look at the WNBA's YouTube channel, nearly half, think about that, 46 out of the top 100 most viewed videos of all time are from this current 2024-2025 season.
That's unbelievable.
And the signal is even clearer than that. 39 of those 46 highly viewed recent videos are directly related to Clark. So she isn't just a part of the content. She is fundamentally driving the entire engine of digital discovery and engagement for the league.
She's the driver of, butts and seats, too. Coach Nancy Lieberman, a legend in the game, she called Clark the needle that lifts all boats in the league. How do the attendance figures support that analogy?
They provide just irrefutable black and white proof.
Yeah.
We saw Indiana Fever games with Clark average a staggering 15,746 fans throughout the season.
15,000 for a WNBA regular season game.
Right. Now consider the context of other WNBA games. Games played by other teams without Clark's involvement during that same period. That average attendance was 8,490.
Wow.
That's an almost 85% drop when she isn't on the court. She isn't just boosting her team, she's fundamentally boosting the entire gate revenue potential at every single venue she visits. That level of star power is exceedingly rare in any sport.
So our mission today is to really unpack exactly how a single player achieves this level of transformative influence. We need to chart her entire arc.
The whole story.
Yeah. Where did that drive even originate? How did she dismantle the collegiate record books? What specific controversies and these intense rivalries emerged during her rise? And then finally, how is she managing this unprecedented pressure and, frankly, the physical toll of her record-breaking transition into the pros?
It's a huge story to unpack.
Let's start by grounding it, rooting this story in the American Midwest. Caitlin Elizabeth Clark was born on January 22, 2002 in Des Moines, Iowa. She attended Dowling Catholic High School in West Des Moines.
And what's often forgotten when we talk about her basketball genius is just the sheer breadth of her early athletic life.
She wasn't just a basketball player.
No, not at all. And that versatility is so key to understanding her foundational athleticism. While she played 4 years of varsity basketball, she wasn't singularly focused on the court at first.
You mentioned she was a starter on the soccer team.
Yeah, for 2 years, yeah. And she wasn't just good. She scored 23 goals as a freshman. She even earned a spot on the Class 3A All-Iowa team.
Wow.
That suggests, a high-level competitive instinct and an ability to use space and vision skills that definitely translate to the basketball court.
But the sources, they really point to a very specific pivotal moment in 2018 that essentially catalyzed her decision to dedicate herself fully to the evolution of her basketball skill set.
Yes, this is a classic sports narrative, right? Turning perceived failure into fuel. In the summer of 2018, she experienced a major competitive heartbreak.
The Team USA cut.
The Team USA cut. She was the penultimate cut from the 12-player under-17 roster for the FIBA World Cup. And this moment, being told she wasn't quite good enough at that level. It wasn't a reason to quit. It was a profound source of motivation.
So how did she channel that? How did that motivation manifest in her game?
She immediately identified her developmental gap. She dedicated herself to honing two skills that would become her signature trademarks. First, the refined efficiency of her pull-up jumper. And most importantly, the development of that deep step-back shot. That decision to expand her range and create separation was a direct, intentional response to that Team USA cut.
So she knew what she needed to work on.
She realized that to succeed at the highest level, she needed an offensive weapon that very few others possessed.
And that kind of talent and drive, it obviously attracts attention very early. We see that the recruiting buzz started before she was even officially in high school.
That's right. She got her very first letter of interest from Missouri State before she even started 7th grade.
7th grade.
I know. So by the time she graduated, she was undeniably an elite prospect. Rated the 4th best player in her class by ESPN, a highly coveted 5-star recruit.
Can you highlight maybe one specific high school performance that really foreshadowed the kind of scoring output we would later see at Iowa?
Oh, absolutely. Look at her junior season, specifically February 4, 2019. In a single game, she scored 60 points.
60, which is the second highest single game total in Iowa girls 5-on-5 basketball history. And in that same performance, she established a state record by sinking 13 three-pointers.
13 threes in one game.
And then later that month, she broke the Class 5A state tournament single-game scoring record with 42 points in a high-stakes triple overtime victory. She didn't just score. She scored prolifically and consistently in these high-pressure situations, even as a teenager.
So when it came time to choose her college, she had top-tier options. I mean, regional rival, Iowa State, powerhouse Notre Dame. Why did she ultimately choose to stay home at Iowa?
It was a very conscious strategic choice. It was about opportunity and fit. She was deeply attracted to Iowa's up-tempo style of offense under Coach Lisa Bluter, a system that's just designed to maximize scoring volume.
And there was an opening, a huge opening. Crucially, the reigning Big Ten Player of the Year, Kathleen Doyle, was departing, which meant Clark was promised the keys to the offense immediately. She saw a clear path to being the starting point guard, to having the volume and usage rate she needed to showcase her full abilities right away.
Instead of maybe waiting a year or two somewhere else.
Exactly, rather than potentially having to wait at another blue blood program.
Now let's step away from the statistics for a moment and look at the emotional core of this elite competitor, which, often gets obscured by all the highlights. We know she drew inspiration from certain role models.
The sources give us this vital, rarely seen perspective on her personal support system. When she talks about her childhood heroes, she was really quick to name Maya Moore as her favorite player, male or female.
Maya Moore, yeah.
Meeting Moore was cited as one of the major emotional highlights of her childhood. And beyond basketball, she also drew inspiration from Mia Hamm and the famed resiliency of the U.S. women's soccer team.
That makes sense.
These role models suggest an affinity for disciplined, competitive, yet team-focused female leaders.
But the deepest well of support, the person she relies on when the external world becomes just overwhelming, that's her mother.
Absolutely. She spoke with real emotion about her mother being her rock. She described that the first person she called when she was hurt or feeling that pressure was her mom.
Asking her to come visit.
Just asking her to fly in, cook a meal, and essentially provide that safe place. In the hyper-competitive, pressurized world of elite athletics, having that unwavering, familiar support system is just so crucial for long-term mental sustainability.
It keeps you grounded.
It helps keep the identity of the person separate from the identity of the player.
And we learned that her mechanism for creating that safe place for herself away from the court is surprisingly grounded.
Yeah, she finds genuine escape and a sense of normalcy in the kitchen. When she has free time, she mentioned she loves to cook healthy meals for herself, putting on music, and just focusing on making a home-cooked meal.
A simple routine.
A simple routine that provides a vital space of quiet control in a life that is otherwise defined by chaos, travel, and intense public scrutiny. It's a very relatable anchor for someone living a very unrelatable life.
So that hard-earned foundation was put to the ultimate test immediately upon arriving at Iowa in 2020. She didn't have a transition year. She was dropped straight into the starting point guard role for that 2020-2021 freshman season, and she became an immediate statistical force.
She took ownership of that team right away. She partnered closely with the starting center, Monica Chinano, and an analyst quickly recognized their combined impact and coined the nickname the Law Firm.
The law firm, I remember that.
As a freshman, her statistical impact was just unprecedented for a first-year player. She didn't just score a lot. She led the entire NCAA division on light and scoring right out of the gate with 26.6 points per game.
As a true freshman.
As a true freshman. And crucially, she also led Division IX total points, assists, field goals made, and three-pointers made.
To lead the nation in points and assists as a freshman, that's just not common. What recognition did that immediate production earn her?
Well, it was a sweep of the major freshman awards. She was named the unanimous Big Ten Freshman of the Year, and she set a conference record by winning 13 Big Ten Freshman of the Week honors.
13 times.
Yeah. She became the first freshman ever to win the Dawn Staley Award, which recognizes the best Division I guard. And it's also noteworthy that she shared 2 major National Freshman of the Year awards with Paige Buchers of UConn, which really set the stage for future competitive narratives.
So if the freshman year was dominant, the sophomore season, 2021-2022, that was the year she started breaking down statistical barriers that no one else had ever touched.
This is really where we shift from just dominance to historic uniqueness. She became the first women's player ever to lead Division I in both point and assists per game in a single season.
Think about what that requires.
It's incredible. The mindset and ability of an elite scorer, coupled with the selfless vision and execution of an elite playmaker. She averaged 27 points, 8 assists, and 8 rebounds, and also led the nation in total points, free throws made, and total triple-doubles.
And she started developing this reputation for these incredible high-scoring streaks that were just punctuated by triple-doubles.
Yes, she became the first Division I player, men's or women's, to record consecutive triple-doubles while scoring at least 30 points in each.
That's just an absurd stat line.
It demands not just physical conditioning, but relentless competitive focus. And we have to remember the specifics of that season, like the 46-point masterpiece against Michigan.
Oh, I remember that game.
She poured in 25 points in the fourth quarter alone, set the Chrysler Center women's single-game scoring record. That kind of high-stakes, high-volume clutch performance earned her all the major hardware.
All of it.
Unanimous Big Ten Player of the Year, her second consecutive Dawn Staley Award, and she received the Nancy Lieberman Award as the nation's top point guard.
So the junior year, 2022-2023, is really when the team's success starts to catch up to the individual brilliance, which leads to this massive increase in media spotlight.
The individual milestones just continued at a blistering pace. She tied Elena Del Don as the fastest Division I women's player to reach 2,000 career points, doing it in just 75 games.
75 games.
And she continued setting Big Ten single-season records in points, assists, three-pointers, and free throws.
But the regular season moment that truly defined her clutch gene, that had to be the game against Indiana.
Oh, that game against undefeated AP number 2 Indiana was just electric. She drained the game-winning three-pointer right at the buzzer.
It was an unbelievable shot.
It was a moment of pure theatrical drama that elevated her, not just as a dominant player, but as a must-watch performer who was capable of delivering in the highest pressure scenarios.
And that momentum, it just fueled the NCAA tournament run, leading Iowa to its first Final Four appearance since 1993. The stats she generated during that run were frankly like something out of a video game.
They completely redefined tournament history. In the Elite Eight win over Louisville, she became the first player, men's or women's, in tournament history to record a 30 or 40-point triple-double.
A 40-point triple-double.
She finished with 41 points, 12 assists, and 10 rebounds. But the ultimate statement came in the Final Four.
The upset win over undefeated defending champion South Carolina.
Exactly. South Carolina was riding a 42-game winning streak. They look unbeatable.
They did.
And Clark posts 41 points in that game. She became the first player in tournament history, men's or women's, with consecutive 40-point games. To deliver that kind of performance against a team that had established total dominance for years, it just highlights a competitive temperament that thrives on the biggest stage.
That incredible run, however, it ended in a national championship loss to LSU in 2023. And she still managed 30 points and a title game record, 8 three-pointers. But the loss was really overshadowed by the controversy that erupted between her and LSU star Angel Reese.
This moment, the final seconds of that game, is cited in our sources as the definitive origin point of this cultural firestorm. As LSU clinched the win, Angel Reese made the now infamous "you can't see me" gesture toward Clark, followed by pointing to her ring finger.
And the reaction was swift and fierce, and it was directed largely at Reese. But the sources indicate this criticism quickly morphed into a national debate about sportsmanship and double standards.
Precisely. Analysts and public figures immediately pointed out that Clark had previously used the exact same "you can't see me" gesture on court without receiving anywhere near the same degree of public or media condemnation.
Right.
And this opened up a vital, really complex public discussion. Commentators extensively analyzed the profound role of race, gender, and media narratives, suggesting that the perception of acceptable competitive trash talk was heavily dependent on who was performing the action and how the media chose to frame it.
This debate introduced these toxic elements into the fan base that would then follow Clark into the WNBA. But it's crucial to acknowledge how Clark herself responded to all that external noise.
She handled it with a lot of maturity, which I think speaks volumes about her competitive framework. Clark publicly defended Reese afterward.
She did.
She suggested that both players are highly competitive and that the external focus on gestures was overshadowing the achievement of the game itself. But regardless of her personal feelings, the sources confirmed that this highly charged incident guaranteed that the Clark-Reese dynamic would become the defining high-stakes rivalry for the following year, driving massive viewership whenever they faced off.
So the stage was set for her senior season, 2023-2024. If the junior year was about establishing herself among the best, the senior year was about entering the stratosphere and obliterating every remaining record, cementing her status as the greatest collegiate scorer of all time, men's or women's.
The off-court impact was instantaneous, even before the regular season began. In October, Iowa played a preseason exhibition game called Crossover at Kinnick Stadium basketball.
At their football stadium.
They drew 55,646 fans. That set the all-time women's basketball attendance record, indoors or out. She was literally drawing crowds comparable to college football games.
It's incredible. And then she just systematically dismantled the record books, starting regionally before moving to the national scale.
The sheer volume of achievements that year is just difficult to comprehend. She first broke Kelsey Mitchell's Big Ten all-time scoring record. Then she surpassed Samantha Prahalis for the Big Ten all-time assists record.
And the Player of the Week awards.
She broke the Big Ten Career Player of the Week record, winning it an astonishing 24 times. To win a weekly conference award 24 times over a 4-year career just demonstrates a level of sustained excellence and consistent dominance that is truly staggering. She never had a slump here. She just built on perfection.
Okay, let's move to the NCAA records. These were the ones that grabbed the national headlines and pulled in those 18 million viewers.
Right. First, she passed Kelsey Plum to become the NCAA Division I women's career scoring leader. And she did this in spectacular fashion, scoring a career-high 49 points and adding 13 assists in that single game against Michigan.
49 points to break the record.
Just unbelievable. Then she passed Lynette Woodard to become the all-time scoring leader among major women's college players.
And then came the record that transcended men's and women's college basketball.
The one that required national context. She eclipsed Pete Maravich's long-standing mark to become the NCAA Division I all-time leading scorer, men's or women's. She finished her college career with 3,951 points.
A number that seemed untouchable.
For decades. She also finished with 548 career three-pointers, the most in Division I history. To surpass Maravich, a player whose record was held up as just completely unbreakable, is a testament not just to her skill, but to her incredible longevity, volume, and usage rate over 4 full seasons.
And she finished her college career with the maximum possible individual recognition.
A complete clean sweep. She won all the major National Player of the Year awards, AP, Naismith, Wooden, all of them for the second consecutive season. Moreover, she became the first 2-time winner in the 94-year history of the James E. Sullivan Award, which honors the top amateur athlete in the entire United States.
So her college legacy was complete.
There was absolutely nothing left to achieve but professional success.
And that brings us to her professional launch pad, selected first overall by the Indiana Fever in the 2024 WNBA draft. The pressure on her rookie season was arguably the highest placed on any WNBA rookie in history.
Maybe ever. Even more than a Candace Parker or a Diana Taurasi.
I think so.
And that pressure, it showed up immediately in the statistics. Her professional debut included a great scoring output, 20 points. But it was also coupled with a record 10 turnovers for a WNBA debut.
Which people jumped all over.
They did. But this wasn't necessarily a sign of incompetence. It was an immediate reflection of the high-risk, high-reward nature of her play. Her aggressive, high-usage style, where she handles the ball for most of the possession, It inevitably leads to a higher volume of mistakes, and she later set the WNBA single-season turnover record.
But the highlights quickly began to validate the hype, and the record-breaking resumed almost immediately.
Oh, the transition happened quickly. She tied the rookie single-game record with 7 three-pointers in June. She then set the Fever single-game assist record with 13 assists.
And then the triple-double started coming?
Then, in July, she achieved a historical first. She became the first WNBA rookie and the first Fever player ever to record a triple-double. And she would go on to record a second one later in September.
Her passing, though, continued to shatter these long-standing league records.
Her most eye-popping passing performance came when she set the WNBA single-game assist record with 19 assists, surpassing Courtney Vandersloot's mark.
19 assists.
And look at the implication of that. In that game, she either scored or assisted on 66 points. That broke Diana Taurasi's 2006 record for total points produced in a single game.
That's incredible.
That shows not just elite playmaking, but an unparalleled capacity for offensive facilitation. By the end of the year, she broke both the WNBA rookie assist record, which was previously held by Ticha Penicheiro since 1998.
A long time.
And the rookie three-point record, previously set by Ryan Howard in 2022.
And she even managed to break the rookie scoring record, cementing a clean sweep of the offensive categories.
Yes, breaking Simone Augustus's rookie scoring record just underscored her incredible scoring volume, which included a career-high 35-point game. And this unprecedented rookie season saw her lead the league in both assists and three-pointers, and ultimately she led the Fever to their first playoff appearance since 2016.
So her recognition at the end of the season just confirmed her historic impact.
She was named WNBA Rookie of the Year, taking 66 of 67 possible votes, which shows this near-unanimous respect from the analysts.
Almost unanimous.
And critically, she was selected to the All-WNBA First Team. This is a massive honor for a first-year player. She was only the 5th rookie in history to achieve this, joining an exclusive group that includes Candace Parker in 2008.
That's elite company.
To top it off, she was named the AP Female Athlete of the Year and Time Athlete of the Year in 2024, confirming that her impact had crossed well beyond the boundaries of just basketball.
Let's transition now from the list of achievements to the analysis of the playstyle itself and the resulting cultural tensions that have really defined her professional life. Listed at 6 foot up, she has the size and skill set of a modern point guard. But what defines her game beyond the sheer volume of production?
You have to start with versatility. The Washington Post highlighted that very few players in either the men's or women's game check every offensive box scoring in the paint, mid-range, and deep range as distinctly as Clark does.
A true 3-level scorer.
Exactly, which makes her incredibly difficult to game plan against.
But the element that transforms the geometry of the court is her shooting range, which inevitably draws those comparisons to Stephen Curry.
That comparison is inescapable, and it's accurate because of her shooting audacity. She doesn't just shoot deep, she makes a high degree of difficulty shots consistently, often from far behind the NBA three-point line.
From the logo.
USA Today noted that she has fundamentally redefined what a good shot is in basketball. She pulls defenders 10 feet further out than they want to be, which just warps the spacing for her teammates.
And that creates everything else.
It creates the lanes necessary for her teammates to operate, and is why her playmaking is so effective.
Speaking of playmaking, her passing has to be just as visionary as her shooting.
It is. It's described as equally audacious. She masters the pick and roll, often making these complex reads while moving at full speed. She is brilliant at passing ahead in transition, and most memorably, finding teammates through defensive traffic with precise, often no-look passes.
So who are the comparisons for her overall game?
Well, her combination of vision and competitive fire has led analysts to compare her competitive drive and talent favorably to Diana Taurasi. And she said she modeled elements of her game after legends like Maya Moore, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and even Pete Maravich.
This intense spotlight and transformative skill set, however, put an immediate target on her back, resulting in what many observers saw as targeted physicality within the league.
This is a point of significant analysis in our sources, and legendary coach Nancy Lieberman provided a really compelling historical parallel.
Right.
Lieberman compared Clark's early WNBA experience to Michael Jordan facing the Bad Boys Detroit Pistons early in his career. Jordan, who was physically targeted, responded not by complaining to referees, but by intensely committing to the weight room to change his body composition and withstand that aggression.
And the sources confirm Clark is undergoing a similar physical transformation.
Yes, the viral workout footage showed that she is training with increased intensity, focusing on getting tougher, bigger, and stronger to physically absorb the relentless, aggressive defense she faces every single night.
So Lieberman's message to the league was?
It was sharp. Stop the petty behavior. She urged everyone to recognize that Clark is the needle and the cash cow. She is the financial engine of the league's growing prosperity, and the veteran players should embrace that economic uplift, not resent it.
That internal tension, however, it boiled over in these public disputes, most notably involving former star and analyst Sheryl Swoopes.
This was a very public and frankly unfortunate example of that tension. Lieberman explicitly identifies Swoopes as the biggest hater of Clark.
Strong words.
The source material details that Swoopes made these controversial and critically factually incorrect public comments. She alleged, for instance, that Clark was 25 years old and taking 40 shots a game.
Which was just not true.
Not even close. Lieberman meticulously debunked these claims, emphasizing that such inaccurate commentary was irresponsible given the platform. This public and professional feud, it led to the termination of their long-standing friendship, and Swoopes was eventually removed from the Dallas Wings telecasts due to her perceived biased commentary. It just underscores the severity of the situation.
Beyond professional critiques, the sources really delved into these deeper cultural and sociological tensions surrounding Clark's rapid ascent, specifically the privilege debate.
And this is a complex area requiring careful impartiality. The analysis points to the fact that dislike or intense scrutiny of Clark is often driven by three factors: jealousy from competitors, a desire to defend the league's history and the achievements of past greats, and crucially, issues of perceived white privilege in the context of media narrative.
What specific arguments did critics make regarding this privilege?
Well, the core argument revolved around the idea of media scrutiny and consequence. Critics noted specific instances where Clark's on-court actions, like the "you can't see me" gesture we discussed, or a minor shove against Angel Reese, drew significantly less media outrage or criticism than similar or even less egregious actions taken by other players.
Especially players of color.
This led to analysis linking the rapid shift in media attention and how the narrative was framed to racial double standards in sports reporting, suggesting that Clark benefited from a system that historically elevates white stars more readily.
And this complexity was just amplified by the toxicity of her exponentially growing non-traditional fan base.
That new wave of popularity brought with it a significant problem. As Clark's audience exploded, a segment of these new fans, often referred to as bandwagon fans, were accused of directing racist, sexist, and homophobic abuse at other WNBA players on social media.
Which put Clark in an impossible position.
A completely impossible position.
So how did she respond to the toxicity that was emanating from the very audience she attracted?
She addressed it directly and publicly. She called those who engaged in harassment trolls and not genuine fans. She made it very clear she was not aligned with or supportive of that destructive behavior, essentially trying to divorce the toxic element from her genuine supportive fan base.
Difficult thing to do.
It's a very challenging act of leadership, requiring her to publicly criticize the very demographic that was largely responsible for the league's increased revenue and profile.
The intensity of the scrutiny, the physical targeting, and the perceived inconsistency in foul calls, it even drew attention from outside the sports world. Political speculation.
The stakes became national and political. Sources indicated that members of the U.S. administration were reportedly considering looking into the situation.
Really?
The concern was that if this massive new public base supporting Clark felt she was being unfairly, deliberately, or improperly targeted by the league or officials, it could lead to significant public backlash and potentially compromise the league's newfound mainstream acceptance. This extraordinary situation just underscores the fact that Clark's narrative had fully transcended professional sports and entered the realm of cultural and political dialogue.
Moving into the 2025 season, the narrative shifts away from that rookie learning curve and directly toward durability and physical sustainability. Her second professional year quickly became defined by injury management.
And this is the inevitable consequence of that physical targeting and the immense usage rate she sustained over college and her rookie year. She dealt with a string of lower body issues, left leg tightness, a left quadriceps strain, and both left and right groin injuries,
A lot to deal with.
resulting in 10 missed games by mid-July. This pattern confirmed the price she was paying for her high-usage, high-contact style of play.
But her ability to return from injury and immediately dominate proves that the core transformative talent is still very much intact.
Oh, absolutely. In her return game on June 14, she led the Fever to a major statement win over the reigning champion Liberty, handing them their first loss of the season.
And her stat line.
She finished with 32 points, 8 rebounds, and 9 assists. That performance included a ridiculous sequence where she hit 3 consecutive three-pointers in just 38 seconds during the first quarter.
38 seconds.
So she can still change the entire direction of a game, even when playing through pain or coming off extended rest.
And despite the injury setbacks, her leadership and popularity led to record-breaking fan voting recognition.
She was named a 2025 WNBA All-Star captain, and in doing so, she broke the record for the most All-Star votes in history, surpassing 1.2 million votes.
Unbelievable.
This demonstrates that her popularity and cultural pull remain completely unaffected by her time missed on the court. However, reflecting a new maturity in her career management, she had to announce she would not participate in the All-Star game or the three-point contest.
Because of the injury.
Yes, due to the ongoing right groin injury, specifically citing her need to rest my body. This prioritizing of health over highlight moments is a key evolution for her.
Her influence, of course, extends far beyond the court and the injury report, particularly in the realm of endorsements and financial power.
Her commercial valuation is just unprecedented in women's sports history. During her college career, she was estimated to have the highest NIL valuation among women's college basketball players at $3.4 million.
And that set a new bar.
It set a new gold standard for female athletes in the college ecosystem. It rivaled or surpassed many of the top male athletes, and it signaled to the marketplace that women's sports stars are genuine cash generators.
And her portfolio now is enormous. It includes some truly rare partnerships.
Her endorsement deals are elite. She secured an 8-year deal with Nike, which is a massive commitment in the modern sports landscape. She also has partnerships with major corporations like Gatorade, Bose, Buick, and State Farm.
Where she was the first college athlete spokesperson.
Exactly. And perhaps most uniquely, she became the first athlete since Michael Jordan to have a signature collection with Wilson Sporting Goods. That connection to Jordan, who basically defined modern sports branding, is a massive statement about her marketability.
But she appears to be using that commercial power very intentionally, focusing on genuine societal impact through the Caitlin Clark Foundation.
Her philanthropic endeavors are structured around uplifting youth through education, nutrition, and sport. And the initiatives are very concrete and impactful. For example, she teamed up with Scholastic to donate 22,000 books directly to under-resourced schools in Iowa and Indiana.
That's incredible.
She also partnered with Musco for the Community Courts Initiative, working to install multi-purpose courts in Des Moines middle schools to encourage youth sports participation.
And in terms of tackling large-scale issues like food insecurity, the numbers are equally impressive.
Partnering with Hy-Vee, her foundation raised over $300,000 for Feeding America. This is estimated to provide 3 million meals, which demonstrates her ability to leverage her celebrity power to generate significant resources for necessary causes.
And finally, we see her already looking ahead to the ownership sphere, demonstrating a desire to continue growing women's professional sports after her playing career is over.
Yes. She joined the ownership group that is actively looking to bring an NWSL expansion team to Cincinnati. This move shows a long-term commitment to expanding opportunities and infrastructure within women's professional sports, diversifying her influence well beyond the basketball court.
So when we look back at the breadth of this deep dive, from that motivated high school kid who was fueled by a Team USA cut, through a collegiate career that necessitated rewriting the entire NCAA record book, to a professional debut that fundamentally reshaped television viewership for an entire sport, it's clear that Clark is a unique force.
Her legacy is already secure. She's a transformative player who permanently redefined the geometry and parameters of what a good shot even is. She's generated unprecedented attention and financial growth for women's basketball, leading to her being widely placed alongside legends like Cheryl Miller, Diana Taurasi, Candace Parker, and Breanna Stewart as one of the greatest collegiate players of all time.
The sources, however, they paint a picture of success that is deeply intertwined with relentless external pressure, massive cultural volatility, and, well, literal physical targeting from opponents.
And this brings us back to the most critical long-term question for her career. Given the documented physical targeting and the cultural heat she faces, which has already manifested in significant injuries and missed games early in her second year, how will Clark manage to balance that fierce, undeniable competitive fire and her relentless drive for winning MVPs and championships with the immense off-court demands and, most importantly, the paramount need to maintain her physical health?
A massive balancing act.
Her sustained ability to thrive, and frankly, the WNBA's continued massive growth, it depends not just on her incomparable skill, but on her ability to strategically withstand and manage the immense forces, both cultural and physical, that her own explosive stardom created.
A challenge only a generational talent can truly face head-on. Thank you for deep diving with us today.